Hey everyone, this is Richard, and I'm standing on our base right now here in the Premium Amazon, the base of FAIENAP. It's where we live, where we minister, and most of our ministry is done out of this base. God really impressed upon me to just share a quick video with you guys. And about 2 weeks ago, I was in church listening to a message. We had just gotten back from furlough, and the pastor was preaching, and this particular passage came up, and it wasn't even the main point of the sermon. It was really just an added passage to kind of support the main point and support the sermon. And it was in Philippians 4. And it's when Paul is telling the Philippians, he said, I'm really encouraged because you've revived your concern for me. He said, not that you weren't concerned, you were, you just didn't have opportunity. And then he goes on to speak, I'm not speaking out of need. And that's when he talks about, I've learned how to be content in plenty and in need. And then he ends that passage with, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. In context, about living content, being content in every circumstance. God has been so good to me and my family, and we are content. We have no needs that have not been met. In fact, most of our wants have even been met down here. When we're on furlough and when we're talking to people in the States and we're traveling and stuff, people tell us all the time, well, if there's anything that comes up, let us know. If there are any needs that come up, let us know. And like most missionaries and most people, even most pastors in churches, we kind of like, okay, yeah, thank you, we appreciate that, and we do, but we really don't say anything. And for a variety of reasons, it's a mixture of either pride or simply just not wanting to burden people. Even though they're saying, let us know, we just don't want to put that burden on people. And so for us personally, we're fine. We really are. But God really impressed on me to let you guys know about a need for the ministry itself. For FAIENAP. We support this ministry. We've worked with them for 7.5 years here in the jungle, and it's a native-run, native-led ministry that we come alongside. And I work with natives. We train native pastors, but it's all done through this ministry. This particular ministry cannot say the same thing about having all their needs met. They're on a shoestring budget. They really desperately need some help in certain areas. And I got to be honest with you, a lot of people on the field, a lot of organizations on the field need help in a lot of ways. And in one of those ways is like learning how to manage the money they have, whatever. This is actually not one of those cases. They actually do a really good job. I mean, they're very, very honorable in how they manage their money. They're very good and wise in their spending. That's not the case. It's just the fact that they have nothing coming in. I mean, I don't want to be dramatic in saying that and excessive. They do have something coming in. I mean, we're able to do some things. We have people on our base that live here that rent housing, and that's the income they have. And there have been gifts that have come in the past. A lot of those gifts have completely stopped. And we knew they were going to stop, but they've completely stopped, and there's been nothing else to come in. And so what I want to do is I want to let you know of a specific project. Okay? I'm standing in front of some construction right here. I've got 2 teams coming this summer, in fact. The first team already sent down some money, and that's how we built these pillars here. We're going to be expanding this house out. This house has always been a very simple, it's kind of divided house. One half of it has been a place where people could stay and sleep, and the other side has been a kind of a meeting room. Well, we're going to expand this and redo the entire house. And it's going to be a place for really 2 purposes. Number one, it's going to be a place where all teams can stay when they come to work on the base here. But number 2, and the majority of the year, this is going to be used for Bible translation. You see, one of the things that FAIENAP is involved in is Bible translation. And right now, we're involved in the translation of the Kakataibo Old Testament. Now, I don't want to spend too long telling you too many details and make this video too long, but I will tell you this much. Of all the people groups in the Peruvian Amazon, pretty much all of them have a New Testament, and almost none of them have an Old Testament. They may have a couple of books or summaries of a few books, but pretty much none of them have an Old Testament, a completed Old Testament. And so we're working with them to try to get Old Testament translations. In fact, FAIENAP is an organization, is kind of the organization that the people groups come to, and then we talk to Wycliffe and SIL and Seed Company to try to get translation work done for them here throughout the Peruvian Amazon. And so we need to get something built so that we can do Bible translation centered out of that building. And that's what this is going to be doing right here. So we have a group from Idaho coming this summer, and we have a group from Chattanooga, my home church, coming this summer, and we're going to be working on this building. The thing is that those two groups, even with the fund they have, we're not going to be able to finish this building, and there's no other way to get it done. And so God really spoke to me in that passage by saying, you know, not that you didn't have concern, you just didn't know about it. Well, how would you know there's a need here? How would you know that this is going on unless we tell you about it? And so, you know, we never really post anything like this. We never do anything like this because we don't, I don't know, like most people, we don't like to talk about money. We don't like to talk about those things. Now, this isn't for us. This isn't for us personally at all. It has nothing to do with us. In fact, any donations won't even come through us. I'll put a link below for an organization that we partner with in the States, Mission Funds in Full. They send all the money directly to FAIENAP. It doesn't even come to us, doesn't come to anything associated with us. It goes directly to the organization, to FAIENAP. And so this is a FAIENAP project that we just really need to raise some funds for so we can get this building built. Now, I'm working on budgets right now. I'm working on getting prices. We know that the wood, all the wood for this is gonna cost right around $4,500. We know that much. Well, I think I can get the majority of that between the two teams, okay? But we still have all the electrical that we have to buy, and one of my teams has to do that. I know that for a fact. We have to get some drywall. We have to get a lot of extra things in this house. We're gonna have bathrooms in this house because it's gonna be a full house centered around Bible translation. We want it to be comfortable for teams and Bible translation teams. And so I'm gonna go and I'm gonna get these updated figures, okay? And we're gonna, over the next couple of weeks, we're gonna try to get the prices and come together with a budget. But we think it's gonna be probably somewhere in the range of around $12,000 to $14,000 more than what we have coming in with the teams. Now, that's not a lot when you think about redoing an entire house. Literally, we're gonna be taking down all the exterior walls. All we're gonna use is the frame of this house for the most part, and we're gonna add on to it. We're even gonna redo the entire roof. I mean, all of it's gonna be redone. But it's a lot of money. That's still a lot of money. I mean, you can go buy a nice car for that amount of money, sometimes two of them. And so, will you just pray? Will you just pray if maybe God has you to help this particular project? You know, the reason we even do projects here on this base and even accept teams here to do projects is because we know 100% how it directly affects getting the gospel to the natives in the Peruvian Amazon. And helping this project is going to do exactly that. And so I, just feel compelled. I don't want to take scripture out of context and use it in a way that's not meant to be, but I just really felt impressed and compelled to say that, it's not that you're not concerned for us and concerned for the concerns there. It's just you don't have opportunity. Maybe this is a way to let you know what the opportunity is. And so if that's something that you may be interested in, I'll post a link below. Even if not, will you just commit to pray that God will provide the funds to do this because we've got the teams coming down, and I've got Peruvian workers who can do the work here with me to help get this done. But we just need the funding to make it happen. We know it's going to happen. We know it's going to happen. We're content. FAIENAP has always lived in contentment. But I just feel compelled to say, this is a need, and we just want to give the opportunity. So if you'll just pray about that, we would really appreciate it. So may God bless you guys and all you do today so that his name may be glorified and be made great.